Hi, I'm Alejandra Galvan.
And I'm Alina Souza.
Welcome to this week's History Edition. Today we're going to be talking about Holocaust survivor named Livia Bitton-Jackson.
At age 13 years old, Livia Bitton-Jackson was sent to the Auschwitz concentration camp along with her mother and her aunt.
Livia and her mother were called out of line by a German soldier and forced to work in the camp. Her aunt and father were not so lucky. Livia's father and aunt died in Auschwitz, but her mother and Livia survived with the help of an officer.
My mother and my aunt and I were walking locked in arms, by our arms, and we're marching quickly. So automatically we were already heading towards the left when Mengele stopped me with his stick and said, "You, come here." And I came and he said, "Are you Jewish?" And I was very tall for my age. I think that's why he noticed me. And also I had thick, long blonde braids. And that was the typical Aryan girl, you know, the German ideal of the pure race. So that's why he asked me if I was Jewish. And I said, "Yes, of course I'm Jewish." And he said, "And is that your mother?" Because my mother looked at him and she looks probably somewhat similar to me. She looked, I still think she's alive. And he said, "Come back." I said, "Yes, this is my mother." And he says, "Come back." At that point, my aunt, who wanted to join them, wasn't allowed. She was sent to the left. And she started to cry and said, "Laura, please don't leave me." So my mother said, "Officer, let me go with my sister. She needs me." And he said, "No, you go with your daughter. She needs you more." So it is such an insane thing to remember this, that Mengele, who was sending thousands and thousands and probably tens of thousands to their deaths, stopped and took time out to save my life at that moment, simply because I was blonde and I had blonde braids and I had blue eyes and maybe I looked like the Aryan ideal. As we were marching off to the right, Mengele said to me, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 13. And he said, "Now, from now on, remember, you are 16. So I knew that 16 meant that I was allowed to stay among the grown-ups. And I knew that probably there will be other selections when I will have to lie about my age. And so we were marching towards the camp, Auschwitz.
She was fortunate enough to have caught the eye of an officer, and he saved her life.
And next, our Holocaust reporter, Leslie Nunez, has a story about Livia Bitton and her book detailing her experiences in Auschwitz.
Despite the fact that Livia Bitton's book was written for young adults, all readers will be interested in her story. Although it has the same story arc of many Holocaust memoirs, it still has details that make important points and distinguish her story from others. Bitton-Jackson focuses on cruelty and starvation, and also on luck and kindness, but she especially focuses on courage.
And that's all for this week's History Edition.
Thanks for tuning in.